G'day everyone. Well, I've got something rather special today. It's a Hager brand RCD, or residual current device if you like. It's a 3-phase unit. It can be made to run on single phase. That's what these links are for. And just bring that camera closer so you can get a close-up of it. And this thing's faulty, it doesn't seem to work properly. It just doesn't trip all the time, so we can get the camera right. So we'll plug it in and just see what it does. Just bump the tripod, good stuff. Plug it in and we'll just see what it does. It's in the off position at the moment. Very carefully flick it over without dying. Trips like it's going to make a, there you go, so it doesn't trip every single time. There you go. So when you hit that trip button, it does work eventually, but it's just not happy. It's not quite happy. Just do it on the bench because I don't want to die. It's not tripping straight away even when it does trip. It's just not happy, is it? There you go, it eventually does. If you give it a thump, it seems to. It's very stiff too, like it's really hard to flick back over. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but well, it's not supposed to do that, so everybody might be wondering, because I haven't really seen too many videos about these things. People might wonder, what the hell's in an RCD? Well, I propose, once I move all this junk out of the way, to answer that question. I'm going to put this tripod down. Just don't want it sky high. It's sort of, you know, how high do you want it kind of thing. It's sort of not really ideal, is it? I will give close-ups wherever necessary. Stupid tripod. How the hell does this thing go together? Well, set off. First of all, I'll go get some tools because it's go get some screwdrivers. Where screwdrivers are. The other set. So I'll piss all of this junk off. Ooh, tighten the merry hell out of that. Not me, by the way. Yeah, it's better. Not exactly sure why it's had the hell tightened out of it. It's not going to get up and run away after all, but you know, there you go. Some people just piss that cord off out of the way. Shot, yep. Now, I think it's just pretty well snaps together. Maybe not. Must be held together by a couple of different means. Maybe that pushes in, no. Yeah, it just seems to have two things holding it together, not just one. So, just a couple of different ways of holding this thing together. They really don't want it to blast apart, I guess. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where, you know, you really can't fix them because it's not really safe to do that, but yeah, there we go, that one comes out. You sort of can't pull them apart without totally destroying them, but I'm not exactly sure why that won't come apart. It's just should, but let's leave that apart. Someone's probably watching this and thinking, yeah, you don't do it like that. Oh well, this thing's, you know, it's a dead RCD. What are you supposed to do with it once, you know, you pull it apart, put it back together and use it? Well, you can't do that either. I mean, they're not a serviceable item. Once they're no good, they get, noisy piece of shit. They get thrown in the rubbish bin once they've been pulled apart. You know, it's just the way it is. It's just, you know, you can't fix them. It's lockout thing's just not quite doing what it should. Weird. There we go. That's got it. Now, see if I can get this end apart. Seem to be held in by as much as the other end. It's coming apart fractionally easier. This is why Sparkies just throw them out and not do autopsies on them, I suppose.
Sorry.
Righto, it's not bad considering I'm only doing it with one hand. Two hands. Oh well, need three. They probably have jigs for assembling these things, and well, I don't have a jig, so. Well, what's in an RCD? Not actually that much. Some kind of potential coil down there. Looks like it carries full current too. Don't ask me what that thing sticking up there is. And that's a couple of doodads there too. I'm not sure why. Some kind of link, but it's very stiff. It's just I'm not entirely sure how it would work, but spring, if it should be. Sure, is that lubricant or what? Yeah, it's lubed up. It looks brand new inside, so don't ask me why it's failed. Funny how that's got that thing sticking out of there, and the other one's identical and doesn't have that same thing. Maybe that just stayed behind on the well, it doesn't seem to have. Everything seems to be where it should. Why is it so stiff? Sort of. I guess it doesn't really matter because it's only going to be chucked out, but when you push that test button, what are you actually pushing? So that's what all this contact set's for. It's not even a resistor, it's just a short circuit pretty much. Must be what it pushes. It's not that. Unless that is that, but no, that's just the fault trip indicator, earth trip indicator. The flag, if you like. So when you push that test button, it's just... it's all nice and lubricated, so it's... So when you push the test button on an RCD, this little spring thing sits about, the other screwdriver sits about here, and when you push the test button it shorts it to that contact, and that contact is linked to the neutral, so it's shorting this. I guess there must be a resistor somewhere in there. Let's rip it apart. Oh, it's got Torx. That's a pain. Got a Torx set somewhere, but half the time these naturally it's not going to. You know, I do have a Torx set somewhere, but I really need to find it, but unfortunately I don't know where it is offhand, which is kind of a pain. But I mean, you know, you can open it up with nothing, but there we go. Sometimes you can just get these things to come apart. By the way, this thing's sort of coming out like this. I don't know. Maybe I was betting that it might have a bit of spring potential in it. They tell me these things are a toroidal transformer, which seems to be correct, because that seems to be what that is down there. That's the toroidal transformer. Oh, and it's actually linked to all this. It's all sort of attached. So it's got a little PC board with S1G, and that's the resistor there. Blue, red, red. I remember offhand what that is, but so that's no effort at all. It's just throwing over the contact sets, which are really, really stiff. I don't know why they're so stiff, but they are. Oh, so you're pulling that over with that. And trip. It's not going to work properly because I've had it apart and pissed around with it too much. Maybe if I put it in properly it might. Should have reset that, but it hasn't because it's been pulled apart too many times. Oh, that's actually in the... Ooh, it's not happy with me, I don't think. It's not happy at all. Let's try that now. It's not happy, Jan. Oh, it's because I mean, it's not bolted together. You wouldn't expect it to work properly unless it is. Maybe it's got a lockout so that when you have the case apart, it just doesn't work properly. That might be what it is. No, so that's all it is. There's nothing much even in it. Must be some kind of mechanism to trip it back over. And this mechanism's just stiff, that's why it's not working properly. Oh, it's got a lock out there. See, it's got that spring thing that locks it out, so it won't work properly unless it's all together. But I'm not ever going to use this RCD ever again in a actual installation, because look, it's not safe enough. You know what I mean? It doesn't work properly, and for stuff or money, you can buy one that does work properly. But just for argument's sake, and because I can, please don't send me hate mail because I've done something horrible to an RCD. This thing's junk anyway. And I'm going to load it up with stupid tripod. I'm going to load it up with silicone spray. Carefully stuff these wires out of the way. I'm doing it because I can, in the name of science, just like Photon says. If I can even get this back together properly. A lot of little doodads and stuff. Right, well, all things being equal, that's probably about the right position for it. I was kind of right. I mean, my first instinct was that it was a little bit springy. So, now if this really was the problem with the RCD, it's not going to work properly, I don't think, because it's not happy about not happy that I've pulled it apart. Kind of, you know, I sort of figured that might be the case, but it's not doing anything at all. It's not happy. Oh, there we go. Why that's come up. Plastic this thing's made of, it's not flexible at all. It's just not designed to be flexed around and played with and stuff. No, it's just not happy. I'll still throw it back together and I think Photon's right, they should be blown up. Well, it's not what he said, but, well, you know. It's not what Photon said, but I reckon, you know, he'd probably say that it should be blown up. If RCDs stop working, post them to Photon if you have his address and he'll blow them up. Or alternatively, I'm sure that, I don't know, maybe we could put it in a microwave oven and see how fault, there we go, now it's working properly. That little, it's still very stiff. It's like, yeah, it's extremely stiff. It's got no, silicone spray seemed like a good idea at the time. It's got that little flag thing. Yeah, it only moves across if you trip it. Anyway, let's just shove this lid back on, and it's not happy at all. Maybe it needs to be in the idiot position before it'll go back together again. This thing I'm going to drop in the bin, by the way, so I don't even think it'll stay together anymore. It's just not happy at all. Yeah, this is definitely going in the rubbish bin because it's, in fact, I'm not even going to power it up, and the reason is, unless I can get that to stay in, it's not going to stay together because I've damaged it, but just in case you've ever wondered what's in an RCD, now you know. It is fractionally easier to move now that I've silicone sprayed it. And lack of lubrication could have been the only problem with it, but I would say see, this thing looks perfect inside, and I'm not sure why it won't trip, but I really think Hager needs to go back to the drawing board. if a little bit of dirt or, you know, minute dust, or I know you're supposed to test them every now and again, but this is not an old RCD. It's a CD 440T by Hager, and yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you know, are they reliable? Well, they should be, but this is not that old, and obviously it's not reliable because it's been chucked out. So, anatomy of an RCD, that's what's inside. Thanks for watching.